lovelies, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you'll be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos and leave commentaries and also educate you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to show you guys where these pan-colored women are reacting to the lady that talked about choosing, pan-colored men compared to pan-colored women in their workspaces. I'm just gonna roll her clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. But before then, let's dive into it.
We need to start preparing young women for the workplace drama that involves just a random old lady having one-sided beef with you.
Random old white women in corporate America being like the biggest bullies you've ever encountered, like so rude for no reason, is something that nobody on this planet prepared me for. And we need to talk about it, because like why? For what? Why is a random 45-year-old woman named Linda beefing with me for no reason at all? And let me be clear, when I start a new job, I am a people pleaser. Like, I am overly nice. I want everyone to get along because I don't want to keep going through the whole repeated pattern of like, oh, we're like a big family, like toxic corporate work culture thing that keeps happening. And it's literally the reason like I do freelance work now. I don't want to deal with these weird dynamics in workplaces. Because recently I went down a side of TikTok where it was like women of color coming forward and sharing that white women in corporate America were some of the worst people they have to deal with. And I fully support them because they truly are. Obviously, their reasons for feeling that way are probably a lot different than mine, but they really are. And I genuinely don't know why. Because, like, is it good old-fashioned misogyny? Do they still genuinely, like, believe there isn't enough space in the corporate world for all women, so they have to turn it into, like, a weird competition constantly? I've worked in a number of them now, and there's always at least one woman in there somewhere that is just determined to make your life miserable. One job I had, my boss was a woman, and I noticed that everyone they hired for our department, they purposely hired both women and women who were like super young. And I mean like they were either still in college or they had just graduated like that year. Like they had to be 21. Because she had a tendency to really infantilize all the people who reported to her and like wanted to be like a mentor that people looked up to, but kind of like were never on her level. And I remember one day it slipped out somehow that I was actually 24 and she thought the whole time I was like 20 or 21 and it was just a little bit awkward. That was only where the problems began to start though, because then one day when she was out of the office and like her boss though was in, he walked in on me doing some random work because I got bored. I finished all my work. So I logged into the back end of the website. We worked in marketing, right? But I have a degree in like UX, UI and all that other stuff. And since I was bored, I was fixing the coding and whatnot on the back end of the website, asked my boss if I could do it. She was like, sure, if you've got time, because the website was really messed up. And he walked in, we were chit-chatting, we were having a good time, and he saw that I was doing this and asked me about it, and he was like really impressed. He didn't know that I could do this. And I was like, yeah, I mean, no one's ever really asked me what my background is here at the company. And literally like a few minutes later after he leaves, I get an email CC'd with like my boss and other people that I've been promoted essentially, aka they're just gonna pay me more. But essentially the message of the email was like, oh, we see that you have a lot of value, that you're important to the company, and we like want to make sure that you stay here. And that's when the problems with my boss who sat above me really started. Like, I don't know exactly why, but she started making my day-to-day life very difficult with like menial things for no reason. Like she would write up all the random mistakes that happened in the office, not always mine, not usually mine. Some of them were hers too, and she would report me to HR. So I'd have to go to HR, and I don't know how to argue that. Like my boss is saying I did this. Ironically, after that, I then got written up and sent to HR for asking too many clarifying questions about stuff that I should know. However, I was just trying to make sure we didn't have any more mistakes at the company. Like, it started to be a running joke in our department, because I was chill with everyone else in the department, that like at any random given moment, I could be just sent to HR to be lectured and yelled at for things that really just didn't make any sense. And it was like a funny running joke in the office because like everyone else was also starting to have problems with her. So I felt pretty comforted in that fact. But it even got to the point where I was like crying in the bathroom at work most days, and she still yelled at me for doing that because it was unprofessional. But I specifically remember one day, our big boss came back from a lunch with one of our coworkers. And so he was hanging out in like our office, because literally like 6 of us shared an office. It was a really weird setup, but we were all hanging out, having fun. We were joking, we were laughing. He and I were like shooting jokes back and forth, and we were laughing our butts off. I thought it was like a really good day. And then I look over at her in the corner, and she's giving me like the evilest look I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know why. I can't figure out why, but I know that I'm about to be offed once he leaves the room. But after he leaves, she literally just like packs up and leaves for the day. And then the next day I come into the office, and of course I get called into HR. And she has told HR that everyone in our department, all like 7 or 8 of us, apparently have written up that they're uncomfortable with my behavior at work. And I'm sitting here bawling in HR because I have no idea. Everyone hates me, essentially, is what she's saying. Like, no one wants me there. Like, and I don't know what to say to that. And I'm like, could you give me some examples? Like, if I don't want to make everyone uncomfortable, like, could you tell me what I could do to change? They can't give me a single example because there are none. I remember I'm bawling. She says, go take a walk before you go back to the office because, like, I don't want people seeing this. And I was just like, no. I went straight back to the office where all our coworkers were bawling. They're like, what happened? Like, what did you get written up for this time? And I was like, apparently every single one of you filed a report about me. And everyone's looking at each other going, literally no one in here has ever complained about you once. And they were all so sweet and understanding and comforting to me in that moment. Like, I knew they were telling the truth, but I did not want to continue to fight this grown lady and our HR over this. So I just wrote like my 2 weeks notice, and I turned it in the next day and left the company. And I won't lie, slowly but surely, pretty much everyone left after me because they also had these problems. But I've definitely experienced like stuff like this in other companies too, and I just don't understand, like, do they just not think we can all coexist? Is it because it's like marketing, and like marketing is considered a young person's game, so they feel threatened? Like, I don't know, but it's wild, and no one tells you that this is going to be another thing you get to deal with later in life.
I need the white ladies to circle up because we need to have a team meeting. Somehow it was very obvious to most of y'all why women were choosing the bear over a man. We've all had a circumstance with a man that made us uncomfortable. I'm an avid hiker. I've been in the woods with both men and bears. Neither one of them have harmed me, though at no point have I ever been scared of a bear, but I have had very real reasons to feel very nervous about some of the men I've been in the woods with. I don't understand why white women aren't understanding the parallels that this has to women of color and the way they might feel about us. Other circumstances, they would choose the bear over being with white women. At least in my mind, in the bear versus man analogy, man doesn't just represent the possibility of SA, but a whole host of scenarios in which that man could cause us harm on many different levels. And white women, we have done the same thing to women of color, to people of color. Just like we are having response to men that cannot understand, that are calling us crazy for choosing the bear, what we want them to do is listen. Listen is the next right thing for men to do, because women have very real reasons for choosing the bear. White women, the very next step for us is to listen. There are very real reasons why Black women are pointing out the harms and the real fear they have that are substantiated. All the things men are doing to us, we are now doing to women of color. Telling them the analogy doesn't line up, telling them their fears are unsubstantiated, telling them they're crazy for making this comparison. They are not crazy. They are telling us important things, things that we desperately need to learn. And the only way things are going to get better is if we take a seat and get humble and listen.
If I said what I wanted to say about what has happened to my best friend, as you can see from that screenshot in that previous clip, white women did exactly what Rebecca described they were going to do, or one of the fears that Black women have in relationship to white women. They got so mad seeing themselves in the mirror that they reported her account, and now they have affected her pockets. One of the very reasons why white women said they would choose the bear is the way that they abuse women. And one way that men abuse women is financially. They will financially abuse women, right? They will maintain how much money they get. They will allot allowances. They will insist on joint bank accounts. They will monitor every single purchase that's made. They will financially abuse that woman that they're with to let them know they're in control. That anytime they get out of pocket, they could say, here's your money. I'm taking your money away. And that's what those white women did, because Rebecca told them that we are fearful of the abuse that they cause us. They did the exact thing, the very thing. Those women fucked with my best friend, and y'all know how I feel about that. So for the white women that are following us, that have always asked, what can we do to help? For the white women that are just so confused on how they can participate and what they should do, join her Patreon. Join her Patreon, tell your friends to join her Patreon, support her for the education that you get from her. Support her in the fact that she is helping you change your mindset. Invest in what you're learning from. I have said before that people that are against decolonizing, people that are against other people becoming active anti-racist, people that are so steeped in white supremacy, they are louder. They are louder and they are busier, and we see it right now. Rebecca has 350,000 followers, something like that. And that's what it took to get her account banned, because they were that upset. That's how busy they were. So you want to support her? Support her. You really appreciate what you're learning? Show her. Show her.
So there was a really interesting video made by White Woman Whisperer. I tried to stitch it and the audio didn't record, so I'm going to try to record it again here. Tag her below because you should go watch her video. But she basically poses the question, or opens up this discussion, this bear versus man discussion, to Black women in asking, okay, if you're in an office, who would you rather walk in, a white man or a white woman? And she said that the collective answer would be a white man. And a lot of women are getting offended. A lot of white women are getting offended because they're like, oh my gosh, what a man could do to you is so much worse than a woman. Like, this is divisive. But like, you're not getting it. The reason why Black women would choose a white man over a white woman is for the same reason that women as a collective, especially white women, would choose the bear over the man. It is the danger you know versus the danger you don't. And like, historically, the under the surface racism that white women have for Black women has caused death and destruction, and is absolutely a humongous danger, because Black women know, like, in our society, that a white woman's accounting of things will always be taken more seriously than a Black woman's. So she has to have like a distance because of personal safety. Now, I've seen this play out in my real life. I live in the South. I go to a lot of like influencer functions with like large groups of people, and I can see the difference between women of color who know me and women of color who don't, and how they interact with me and like the guard that they have up. And that's not offensive to me because it's common sense. I absolutely expect them to be apprehensive of a white woman in the South because they don't know what they're getting. But just as the whole point of the bear versus man conversation is to make men understand that women are innately apprehensive and cautious around all men, the question that White Woman Whisperer was posing is to make white women understand the cautiousness that Black women have around white women. That sort of like being scared of me before I give them a reason not to is not offensive to me, because it's absolutely my responsibility to prove to these women that I am a safe person, not the other way around. You cannot like bully someone into trusting you with their personal safety. And that's a lesson for the men on the bear conversation too.
I understand what you're saying. No. And this is a whole issue that we clearly need to address and learn from. You know, there's one white woman at work, when I told her she was the VP of diversity. And I told her, hey, your HR people are touching my hair at recruiting events for Black MBAs. Graduates in business administration, Black ones, we're recruiting them, and your people are touching my hair at the booth. And she said, that's a big topic. Wow. She could have wrote an email. She said that's a big topic and showed me some charts and shit. Anyway, yeah, she was a white woman in charge of diversity. Anyway, so, and this is a whole issue that we clearly need to address and learn from, but not like this. Sorry, I haven't finished it, but I feel like you are, okay, but I feel like is the white man's well actually, or it's the white woman's well actually. Right, you get what I'm saying. It's early. But I feel like you are excluding Black women in this conversation. You're concerned about Black women. You're coming to me to be concerned about Black women. even though all of us women face this bear versus man. What the fuck? What I think you're trying to say is that when I said, hey, white women, you're getting excited about bear versus man, that I thought black women weren't a part of bear versus man, but that's not true because we're women. Oh my God. I just saw white women getting a little excited, and I thought maybe they were thinking that there was a topic and a whole issue that clearly needed to be addressed and learned about. But somehow it's more important. Oh my God.
Like, seriously, lovelies, they actually proved her point. So you've been following this, trend on TikTok about choosing a bear compared to choosing a man. Like, a lot of women were like, they were all choosing a bear because they gave their reasons. They feel more safe in the world with a bear compared to a man, because they feel that this man might actually, how it is, but the bear might just, leave you alone, and if you don't, react, the bear will just leave you alone and all of that. So a lot of women, like, it was actually a trend that I actually posted the video and reacted. I gave my own commentaries, which I think I'll be linking the link in the description, so that if you are lost in all of this conversation, you just check it out and see. So many women, both black, white, everybody were like, okay, it was just a cruise. Like, they were just, everybody was choosing a bear. All the women, majority was just choosing a bear and giving their reasons. So this, biracial lady decided that, okay, let's just turn it and see what happened. She directed this question to, white women, trying to black women. She was like, as a black woman, would you rather be in an office, like a work or a conference room? Would you rather work in a conference room to see only a black male, or a white male, or a white female? A lot of black women were like, they rather be with a pan colored male. Like, so many people gave their reasons. They gave the reasons. Like, a lot of people were just in her comment section, and these white women decided that they were provoked by black women choosing to be with white men in the workspace and all of that. They're like, they feel so disappointed. They think that we all are in the same boat together and all of that. They think that they were just bashing this creator. They were just bashing her, trying to like call her all sort of names, like why would she do something like this, right? Like, a lot of people were just coming for her, and they eventually reported her, and and this happened. And these people do not actually know that they are proving her point. They are proving her point. People know, a lot of people know how these, caring people treat people at workspaces. If they don't like you, they don't like you. They might even end up making your life so miserable. We know how it is in the workspaces. So why is it that when the truth is being told, these people, they refuse to just, like, instead of them to actually accept the fact that these black women are trying to share, they're trying to like be open and maybe work towards it, or work towards being a better person, they decided to prove a point by trying to like, or by doing this to this woman that the biracial leader actually directed the question. They called her also something. They decided to like bring her down because they felt that she hit the nail on the head. Like, seriously, this is the same thing she's trying to communicate there, and this thing that she's trying to make it understand, they are proving the point to tell her that she is actually right. But instead of them to actually do the right thing, like, okay, take corrections and try to be a nice human being, they decided that they want to show her that this is the kind of person they are. Like, seriously, this is just something that, you know, when you want to complain like this, a lot of people tend to like, oh my god, you complain too much and all of it. But this is just the point. This is it. So when women were choosing bears and all of that and giving the reasons why, you think that you also do not have, any form of, in terms of the way these Karens treat black women in workplaces. There are a lot of stories. There are a lot of people sharing their experience on how they were all treated. There's even a story that's I shared here. There's a stage I was reacting to about a biracial professional lady that was called all sorts of name because they felt that she is not qualified to be in a certain position. And who is calling these names is white women. So you wouldn't blame these, ladies, these black women, when they try to express themselves on how they've been treated in these workspaces. Instead of you to take corrections, you decide that, okay, we're just going to report this woman that's decided to open her mouth to spill things that is very open. She decided to spill things that is happening in the workspaces. Like, a lot of people were chosen to be, left with a white man compared to a white woman. Because if you've encountered a white woman tears, right, you will know the reason why these women are choosing to be with a white guy in a workspace alone. Because they are a woman and this person is a man. At least, even if he's a white man or pan-colored man, at least she's a woman. But when you are with a woman, a pan-colored woman, as a black woman, you are already a black person. That is a disqualification. And you are a woman. But this other person, she is a privileged white woman. She is a privileged white woman. So what or whom do you think that they might actually take her side when, conflict begins, or when she decided that, okay, I just want to use my tears and all of that? Whom do you think that they might actually listen to? They will listen to a black woman. They will just go ahead and listen to a privileged white, lady that decides to use her white woman tears to get you out of your job or something. Like, all these things is just something that is very, like, this is what everybody is seeing in society. But because this woman decided to, like, okay, let's just bring what is happening in the society, let's use this opportunity, they picked offense and decided that, okay, they were just gonna prove her right. And this is just what happened. This is, if you go to her comment section, if you see the way they were just writing her, replying, oh my goodness, you will know that what she actually said was just 100%. They never proved her wrong, they proved her right. Instead of you to actually, okay, I think, okay, we need to like work on ourselves as pan-colored women and do better at least. But no, they decided that they are so pained. They decided that they want to go, they want to teach her a lesson and all of that. And this is the same thing she's trying to communicate out there, and you guys proved her right. She's actually a biracial lady, and I'm sorry, these people, like, seriously lovely. So when I saw this video, I was like, oh my god, because I stitched her video and a lot of responses and all of the people gave their reasons why they felt more, to be with, actually, as a black person or a black woman, to be with a pan-colored man compared to that of a pan-colored woman. And this is just something that is just so cruel, and they took it so personal and want to, like, still tell her that, okay, we still have the privilege. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And don't forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational and historical purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.
Watch up to this extent. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.